All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Think of this as your ultimate survival guide for taking on nightmare property management companies. If you've ever felt completely boxed in by a predatory lease or just pushed around by a negligent landlord, you are going to love this. We're looking at exactly how you can use the law to completely dismantle these bad faith practices, beat the landlord at their own game, and honestly, make them look as bad as they actually are, while you get exactly what you're legally owed.
Now you've got to hear this. A landlord literally wrote the words, "Stop asking about the deck and stuff," directly into a legal lease renewal. I mean, no way, right? It sounds totally ridiculous, but when a property manager is brazen enough to put a demand like that in writing, they aren't protecting themselves. They are literally handing you the ultimate smoking gun to completely defeat them.
Because here is the absolute game changer. A landlord can never, ever write a contract that overrides their mandatory legal duties, period. Under Section 3 of the Alberta Residential Tenancies Act, landlords have strict statutory obligations for your safety, and they cannot just make you sign those away. You can't legally agree to live in a fire hazard. So if a lease clause violates standard residential tenancy law, it is automatically void.
We are framing this whole playbook around a crazy real-life case study with Preferred Property Management out at a unit on Amblefield Avenue in Calgary. We're going to break down their actual lease, track their negligence, and walk through the exact step-by-step legal strategy these tenants used to hold them accountable.
Here is our step-by-step agenda. 1. The property management nightmare. 2. Invalidating illegal lease clauses. 3. Documenting negligence and theft. 4. The 10-day deposit rule. 5. Weaponizing the RTDRS. And finally, 6. The tenant ultimatum.
Section 1. The property management nightmare. Imagine paying $2,350 a month in rent. You'd expect a safe home, right? Well, instead, these tenants got a literal 7-foot drop right out their back door, all because the landlord completely failed to build an advertised deck for 2 full years. And look, that's not just annoying. That is a massive, catastrophic safety risk and a blatant violation of basic building and fire codes. If there's an emergency, having your exit blocked like that puts lives in serious danger.
Just look at the timeline here. It perfectly illustrates the sheer scale of the bad faith. Year 1, no deck, just a dirt yard. But then, by months 18 through 24, the landlord is literally siphoning the upper tenant's electricity and heat to build an unpermitted basement suite. They just left the tenants living in a hazardous construction zone. It's a material breach of contract right from day 1.
Section 2. Invalidating illegal lease clauses.
This is where the landlord's own words totally blow up in their face. On one side, you have the lease basically trying to bully the tenant into shutting up about a crucial safety exit. But on the flip side, the Alberta RTA firmly mandates a safe, habitable property free of code violations. By writing down their refusal to fix a glaring safety hazard, the landlord documented their own willful negligence. It completely invalidates their contract and gives you ironclad proof for the tenancy board.
Now keep this in your back pocket. Your legal protections aren't just limited to that formal signed piece of paper. Let's say your formal lease expires and the landlord tries to claim you have 0 rights. Well, if they accept your rent or even just send a quick email confirming you can stay for June, you've just created an implied periodic tenancy. That is fully, legally binding in Alberta, and you are totally protected under the law regardless of whatever informal games they try to play. Section 3. Documenting negligence and theft. Because ignoring a missing deck wasn't enough, this landlord actively committed utility fraud. Yeah, you heard that right. They hooked a basement furnace up to the upper tenant's meter and ran it on high with the windows wide open for 6 freezing winter months in Calgary. It's literal financial exploitation. They forced the tenants to secretly fund their basement flip and, to top it off, completely broke their verbal promises to reimburse them.
So to negotiate from a position of total strength, you have to matrix out exactly who handles what. It's your ammunition checklist. The 7-foot drop? You call Calgary 311 for a fire code violation. The utility theft? That's financial fraud, so you go to the RTDRS. And that hazardous, dusty basement flip? You get Alberta Health Services on the line. This is how you systematically take apart their whole operation.
Section 4. The 10-day deposit rule.
Okay, let's talk about getting your cash back. If a landlord tries to hold your $2,350 deposit hostage with bogus repair back charges or excessive cleaning fees, there is a very strict legal process they have to follow. If they skipped doing the legally mandated move-in and move-out inspection reports, they get 0 deductions. None.
You can instantly formally challenge those penalties by filing a dispute with the RTDRS, citing the missing inspections, which legally forces the landlord to cough up your funds, often with extra penalties.
Section 5. Weaponizing the RTDRS. Now this is how we go on the offensive to get what we want. By preparing to expose that illegal basement suite and all those safety hazards to these 3 agencies, you hit their absolute ultimate pressure points. A 311 peace officer will force them to physically block the door. Health services can completely shut down their basement rental income. And the RTDRS can force them to pay out massive retroactive rent abatements because you never got the safe home you paid for. You are attacking their bottom line.
Section 6. The Tenant Ultimatum. This is the checkmate. You act as your own advocate and you trap them. Step 1. You list out the ironclad evidence, the 7-foot drop, the utility theft. Step 2. You clearly state your intent to file with the RTDRS, AHS, and 311 for a massive retroactive payback. And Step 3. You offer them a way out. You agree to stay, but on a new lease with rent drastically dropped to just $1,200. Faced with thousands in fines and audit and losing all their illegal income, they are forced to quietly accept your massive rent reduction.
So let me ask you this. Are you paying for amenities your landlord never actually delivered? It is time to dig out that rental agreement, find those illegal clauses, and document exactly what you're missing. These predatory managers rely entirely on your silence and your lack of legal knowledge to get away with this stuff. But when you know your rights and you map out your leverage, you hold all the cards. Go check your lease right now. Are you funding an illusion or are you ready to finally fight back?